Hello and welcome to gusmcdollgames. I'm Nick McDowell and today we're starting the Allied Grand Campaign in Close Combat A Bridge Too Far, a game based on the Battle of Arnhem, Operation Marketgarden. For nostalgia, we will start with the introductory logos and video.
September 4th, 1944. The Allies liberate the last of Belgium and halt their advance in Antwerp. 3 months and 450 miles have passed since the Normandy landings on June 6th. Throughout Holland, Axis troops retreat in an uncontrolled dash toward the German border. In Germany, Field Marshal von Rundstedt surmises that the Allies have stopped in Antwerp due to short supplies. Taking advantage of the lull, von Rundstedt quickly reorganizes the scattered German troops into a fighting force. On September 14, Allied Supreme Commander General Eisenhower agrees to British Field Marshal Montgomery's plan, Operation Marketgarden. If executed properly, this two-pronged assault could bring an end to the war before Christmas. September 17, the largest airborne assault in history, Operation Marketgarden, begins. British 30 Corps starts the long drive to the Rhine, while U.S. and British airborne troops secure the road and bridges along the route. For Marketgarden to be successful, the Allies must secure every bridge along the 64-mile corridor. But will that final bridge across the lower Rhine prove to be a bridge too far?
So, now we'll create a new campaign. I'm choosing to play as the Allies and on veteran difficulty. So just as in real life, there's every chance that I will fight hard and still lose the campaign. Let's play.
September 17, 1944. Your paratroops land simultaneously in 3 sectors: Eindhoven, Nijmegen, and Arnhem. Over the next 2 days, you must take and hold key roads and river crossings between Eindhoven and Arnhem Bridge. At 1700 hours, the massive column of British 30 Corps breaks through the German lines and heads north into Holland. They expect the roads and bridges to be secured before their arrival, but will lend assistance if necessary. Though German resistance is expected to be light, speed is essential. Securing the bridges along the route is your highest priority. If you succeed, 30 Corps will punch a hole into the German heartland, and the war in Europe could soon be over.
Arnhem Rail Bridge. Arnhem Bridge is the prize. If you take this bridge and hold it, Allied armoured columns could very well be pouring into Germany's industrial heartland by Christmas. You must move quickly to secure the bridge by the end of the first day. Any delay will allow the Germans to organise and block your passage. Speed is imperative, and there is no path of retreat. Once at the bridge, your position will be reinforced by elements of 1st Airborne. If they encounter opposition in their relief attempt, you will be on your own. Almost as important as the Arnhem Highway Bridge, the Arnhem Rail Bridge is vital to your success. Allowing the Germans to destroy this bridge eliminates any contingency plan in case the Arnhem Highway Bridge is lost. The rail bridge is the escape route for the Oosterbeek operation. If you don't secure it immediately, they'll have no place they can fall back. If you're forced to abandon this area, this operation will be cancelled and your troops will be sent to help defend Oosterbeek. So let's have a look at the troops that we have. AB Bren. Airborne Bren teams are the core of the British Army. They use a light machine gun, bolt-action rifles and hand grenades. Use them on the front lines, but they should run or hide from tanks. AB Rifle. Airborne rifle teams use bolt-action rifles and hand grenades. The team leader is armed with a submachine gun. Use rifle teams on the front lines and to hold victory locations. They are useless against tanks. AB Sniper. The British airborne sniper is a specialist trained in marksmanship. He is armed with a scoped Lee-Enfield rifle. Put him in a location with good fields of fire so that he can eliminate enemy leaders. AB 3-inch Mortar. Airborne 3-inch medium mortar teams also contain bolt-action rifles and hand grenades. Because mortars can shoot over obstacles, position these teams behind buildings or trees. Use them to suppress enemy infantry and lay smoke screens. Okay, so we'll add a sniper and a 3-inch mortar to our team. And so let's look at the map and do some mission analysis. I'll develop a plan and then execute it in the game. As you can see, all of my troops are on the right-hand side of the map in the clear area. Looking at the compass rose on the top left, this is actually the west side of the map, which is probably going to do my head in for a little bit, but anyway. Under normal circumstances, I would refuse battle under these conditions because my troops are all strung out. They're in an area with very little cover and concealment and attacking the enemy in prepared positions. Ordinarily, you would withdraw and find another avenue of approach onto the target, but I don't have very much choice. So in the next map, I've marked out areas of interest. The first one is the open area that I've marked where my troops are. Very little cover and concealment, terrible ground basically. At point 2, we have a low stone wall which is likely to be used for cover by the enemy. At point 3, we have a raised area of ground where the railroad turns into the railway bridge. That area of ground likely has overwatch over the rest of the battle space, particularly the area where my troops are located. At area 4, we have a longer stone wall running roughly north to south and again providing some cover and concealment for the enemy. At number 5, we have the rail bridge itself, and keeping this intact is one of our objectives. And the buttresses for the railway bridge might provide a little bit of cover and concealment for any troops that can get behind them. And finally, at point 6, we have a large area of open terrain with no discernible vegetation between the rail bridge and the eastern edge or left-hand side of the map. Turning now to likely enemy locations, I assess that the enemy are going to put an initial line of resistance along that low stone wall to the right-hand side of the map, and their main line of resistance is going to be on the low stone wall to the left-hand side of the map, or the left-hand side of the Arnhem Rail Bridge. On the area of ground with slightly higher elevation, I assess they'll put some kind of attack by fire position, and this is likely to be some form of machine gun. Over to the left-hand side of the map, there's likely to be some kind of support by fire, perhaps mortars, possibly a sniper or machine gun of some kind. So what's my plan? I have 3 courses of action. The first one, frontal attack, up the guts with green smoke, as they say. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to establish a support by fire position to the top right-hand side of the map with the mortar and the sniper. We're going to initially engage with mortar smoke, the first line of resistance for the enemy. And once the smoke is developed, we're going to conduct a frontal assault on that low wall. The mortar that will then shift to HE on the main line of resistance. And once we've established ourselves on that initial line of resistance with the low stone wall, we'll get into a firefight, establish fire superiority, and then move forward to exploit that by attacking the enemy's main position. So the problems with this plan, or the risks with this plan, is firstly that we're likely to get suppressed while we're waiting for the smoke to build. Secondly, that as we assault the first stone wall, we're likely to get enfilade fire from the enemy's attack by fire position. And third, that by the time we get to that initial position, we'll have been so attrited that we won't win that firefight against their main position. So this is a viable plan, but a very high risk plan, and I don't like it. The second course of action is to do a left hook attack. In this case, we will engage first with mortar HE on the enemy's frontline position, whilst we conduct our first left hook to catch the enemy enfilade from the bottom side of the map, or the north side. Then what we'll do is the mortar will lift and provide mortar smoke on the main line of resistance, whilst we do another left hook around that and catch that position enfilade as well. The main problem with this plan is, particularly in our first assault, whichever way we turn, whether we're conducting a frontal assault on the attack by fire position or when we turn in and get enfilade on the main position, we're presenting our flanks to fire from one direction. So we'll be facing both frontal fire and flanking fire in our main assault. My concern is that's going to lead to unacceptably high casualties, and therefore I don't like this particular plan either. The third course of action then is once again to establish a support by fire position using the mortar and the sniper in the top right hand corner of the map. But then what we'll do is we'll conduct a right hook attack, similar to the one that we just considered before. But in this case, we're separating ourselves using distance from the attack by fire position. We're going to creep up and get enfilade position on the first enemy defensive line, whilst they're suppressed by mortar HE. Then the mortar will lift and provide mortar smoke on the main line. Then we will move forward and conduct our second right hook to catch the enemy's main defensive line in enfilade. One of the benefits of this is that it effectively neutralises the attack by fire position, as in both cases they'll need to fire through their own troops to be able to attack us. And this gives us slight fire superiority, as well as a bit of range and using as best we can some of the cover and concealment that we have. So I'm going to go with this course of action. I'll now execute the plan in real time. If you want to speed things up, just skip ahead every few seconds and see the battle unfold. And don't forget to subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. Okay, let's place our troops in position to conduct course of action 3. Okay, so it starts. We're going to get our mortar putting down first fires, and we can see the enemy are already starting to target our troops with mortar fire inbound as well. Okay, some rifle fire coming in, and we have a machine gun opening up. As predicted, the enemy have some kind of defensive position at the east wall, which would appear to actually be the west wall. Okay, so we're going to get... Okay, we're starting to get casualties. And we're putting all of our support by fire positions and on the enemy position at the west wall, which is marked as east wall. And we'll get our mortar dropping HE on this position as well. Try to suppress or neutralise it while we manoeuvre our troops. Okay, there, effective mortar fire going in. Move our sniper into position. Okay, we're getting these other troops moving along the riverbank, sneaking along so as to make best advantage we possibly can of the very limited cover and concealment that we have.
We're under heavy fire.
Okay, unfortunately we're also receiving effective fire from the enemy's main defensive position on what is labelled the west wall.
Move completed.
Make sure we're getting that mortar fire on the first machine gun, or perhaps around the SS reserve there. We'll try and suppress them. And we're also receiving mortar fire from the enemy. Okay, we'll get our sniper deployed against that machine gun. And so if we can suppress this enemy's initial position at the east wall, it helps us to be able to manoeuvre our troops across the Arnhem Rail Bridge there, firstly catching the east wall position in enfilade. Unfortunately we're catching more casualties there from indirect fire, and then we can proceed to get the west wall enfilade as well. So we've got a bit of mortar smoke going in on the west wall position there to try and blind their machine gun and prevent it from engaging our troops effectively.
We're pinned down.
Okay, we're still taking some casualties. It sounds like they're taking some casualties in their SS reserve, which is good. Looks like we may well have already neutralised the first machine gun on their east wall. And it looks like they're trying to blind us as well with smoke. But I think their smoke is not placed quite as effectively. Okay, time now for a fire mission against the east wall and suppress these troops here. That's it. If we can suppress them, then again we can manoeuvre our troops along the riverbank to get into enfilade. And we've secured the approach to the Arnhem Rail Bridge, which is a good initial indication. We've now achieved our first enfilade on the east wall position, so let's get our troops moving there. bring them forward. And this is a very, very tough... okay, we're going to put now in mortar HE fires against the west wall. This is a very, very tough tactical scenario because we really don't have any cover and concealment for our attacking troops. We really just have to use our indirect fire, use our supporting fires effectively, and guts it out.
Under heavy fire.
Continue to get our guys sneaking around the bridge, but we're still taking casualties. See if we can get some more smoke on that machine gun to blind them and stop them firing into our troops. The enemy seems to have a ridiculously large number of machine guns firing at us. So we'll do what we can. What we want to do is blind that machine gun so we can effectively neutralise it for the time that the smoke's effective, and that way we can manoeuvre in on these positions to get enfilade. But we're still taking very high casualties. The good news is, if there is any, is it looks like we've effectively neutralised the very first machine gun on the east wall, and we've done a pretty good job of neutralising the other reserve troops that are on that wall in that initial resistance position here. There's probably still some troops around that east wall there. You can see one firing back now. And you can also see that there's really no effective fire coming at all from the objective labelled the entrance, which is that area of high ground that I predicted would be an attack by fire position for the enemy. So either they don't have any troops up there, or they do, and as we predicted, the positioning of our troops has made them ineffective, and either they're there doing nothing, or perhaps they've been forced to manoeuvre. Okay, this is a brutal scenario, and you can see there's really nowhere for our guys to hide. They really just have to lay down a lot of fire and manoeuvre as quickly as they can to better firing positions around the east wall and around the rail bridge. Okay, looks like we've caused a casualty in the machine gun position around the west wall, which is good. We can manoeuvre a little and put some fires in on them from the mortar, HE. There we go. Get some direct fire going in on the reserve unit there, which seems to only have 2 troops still effective. Okay, we picked up another soldier of some description. Okay, a sharpshooter or a sniper. So we'll get everybody looking at him. Oh no, we've lost 2 casualties near the rail bridge from what appeared to be indirect fire from a mortar. We'll get these guys sneaking towards the west wall, try and enfilade that position. See if we can suppress the reserve on the east wall. I really want to be able to capture that east wall position, or at least force the adversary to withdraw. But we've got a sniper active behind the wall, and we have 2 people in this reserve unit here who are still active. Although one is cowering and the other suppressed, so that's probably some good news for us. Nonetheless, on the west wall we've got a machine gun firing at us, which is not really good. We don't want that outcome. And we're losing troops. Okay, that machine gun, it seems we've hurt the machine gunner, and we've got maybe 1 injured or dead and another 1 suppressed. So temporarily stopped him from firing. We'll move some of our troops up. Keep the mortar HE on the left-hand side of the screen. I think we've picked up perhaps a mortar team doing indirect fires. We'll sneak some of our troops forward, get them firing. Suppress this reserve troop while we advance on them.
Take cover!
Okay, some of these individuals have lost cohesion, which is not surprising. We'll get our sniper doing a sniper duel with the other sniper, and we'll see what we can do there. Get the mortar suppressing the reserve troops. We really want to be able to manoeuvre up to that east wall. Oh, we just lost another soldier. to the sniper. And their mortar continues to be devastatingly effective on our troops, who are trying to enfilade that west wall position from the top of the map. Okay, and we lost another soldier to the sniper. Okay, we'll try and get these guys to protect themselves somewhat. Move those guys. Okay, this is a tough fight about this point of the battle. We can see the timer has run down on the bridge, but it hasn't yet exploded. But it could at any moment. So we really want to capture this east wall position as soon as we can. And we are trying very hard to enfilade the west wall while suppressing that machine gun. Oh, we lost another soldier. Yep, I would agree with that assessment. But there's really not much that we can do about it. As I said at the outset, this is a very tough map to attack. Normally you'd refuse battle under these circumstances and withdraw and find another route. I don't have that luxury. I just have to conduct the best attack that I can under the circumstances. Okay, so at the east wall we're now closing in for hand-to-hand combat. I've seen a grenade's gone out. And we're trying to first get the sniper and then see if we can roll up the reserve troops, of whom there appears to be just one left. Okay, shift mortar fires, and we'll put some mortar smoke in on this machine gun, try and suppress it whilst we take the east wall, and then we can manoeuvre some troops around to get enfilade on the west wall position. The sharpshooter is still active. Okay, the smoke's coming in, and we've got the sniper, that's great. Smoke's now effective on the machine gun position. We'll see if we can roll up the rest of that east wall. Get some of our troops moving forward. Yep, and we've secured the east wall position, so that's excellent. Get them defending. Take a minute. Okay. Get these guys firing into the machine gun position. These guys as well. Get all the small arms fire we can into that machine gun position to suppress it. We've got the smoke going in. We're manoeuvring some of our soldiers forward to the east wall. More smoke coming in. Okay, we're adjusting the smoke pattern a little bit. And we've got another small unit detected at the base of the west wall. Okay, a member of the reserve unit there is surrendered. He was the only person remaining. We now possess the east wall. The Arnhem Rail Bridge is intact for the time being, but our luck can't hold out for very much longer, I fear. We're trying to get this machine gun position enfilade, but it's not very easy. We're having to sneak our troops forward under the cover of mortar smoke. Get some of these guys moving. And now we're shifting the mortar smoke into that position we saw at the base of the west wall, because I'm very concerned that if we try and assault over, we're going to get caught enfilade by this position of 4 soldiers there. Okay, we're moving to the buttresses with some of our troops. Others we're going to advance into this enfilade position as best we can. Time's running out because that smoke's going to dissipate soon and that machine gun's going to be viciously effective. So we've got an effective smoke beginning to build up. Okay, it's an SS reserve position at the base of the wall there. But that smoke is going to run out, or already has run out. And we really need to speed up this assault. Okay, we've got no more smoke. And looks like our mortar unit is fresh out of mortar, so we'll bring it up to the east wall. And that sounds like we just lost the rail bridge. Yes, we did. Unfortunately, we lost the rail bridge. Okay, more smoke going in on that machine gun position. It looks like we've got a Panzerschreck team around the middle of the west wall there, creeping around. We'll see if we can neutralize them. Get some grenades going in on them.
Conserve ammunition.
It sounds like we're running low on ammunition. Not unexpected, given the fighting that we've been going through at the moment. Okay, some hand-to-hand. Okay, we've destroyed the Panzerschreck, but we've also taken casualties ourselves from that Bren section. So at this stage, we appear to have defeated the machine gun and the Panzerschreck around the west wall. We still have a reserve element towards the... and we've, you can see there's a mortar team that's there in a support by fire position, more or less where we predicted it would be. We've got our... we're starting to run very low on ammunition, and morale is wavering as we've taken heavy casualties. So I'll move this unit up to the position marked entrance, see if we can get onto the high ground. We'll get these guys moving across to get the mortar position. Okay, we're really starting to run out of soldiers at this point in the battle. Okay, we need to get those mortars moving and use whatever we can to try and overwhelm the enemy. If we can take that Arnhem objective there, it might force the enemy to withdraw. Okay.
We're under heavy fire.
That reserve unit is taking individual aimed rifle shots at us. And so we do need to get our soldiers moving over to that mortar position over to the left-hand side of the map. Understandably, though, no one seems to be in a terrible hurry to commence that maneuver. Looks like most of them are down fairly low on ammunition, and most of the squads have suffered pretty heavy casualties, which does not bode well for the rest of the Arnhem Bridge operation. There we go, I've just lost another one. Try and get these guys moving as quickly as possible. And the hope here is that we just use weight of numbers to overwhelm that mortar team. So this is a pretty desperate tactic at this stage of the battle. We've lost the rail bridge, so really what we're doing now is fighting for possession of the ground. Again, we don't have very good cover or concealment. We don't have enough ammunition to really sustain a firefight with the remaining forces on the field, so our best hope is just to overwhelm some of them with weight of numbers. We've lost another, looks like the sniper who was killed or incapacitated. And yeah, we just need to overwhelm those forces with weight of numbers and force the others to withdraw. That's really our best hope at this point. But so far, the course of action we've selected has gone remarkably well, and more or less as we predicted. The enemy dispositions were about as expected, with the exception of the what was marked as the entrance, which is the high ground leading to the rail bridge. I'm still not sure whether there was an attack by fire position there or whether we successfully dislocated it. But using the right hook approach to enfilade the east wall and then west wall positions was a better tactic, I think, than conducting a frontal assault and suffering the casualties you'd expect. However, at this point of the battle, we're in a bit of a sticky situation because we've run very low on ammunition. Our troops are fairly demoralised, having taken heavy casualties, and really the battle could go either way at this point, but we can't afford to lose it. This is the very first battle in the Arnhem Bridge set of operations, and if we lose this one, the entire operation's cancelled. So we really do need to force the adversaries here to withdraw. We may be able to eliminate them, but it looks like they've got at least 2, possibly 3 intact squads, and we just don't have enough ammunition left to win a firefight with them. And right now I'm not having an awful lot of success moving my troops up to where that mortar is believed to be. So we'll let things play out for a little bit. As time goes by, they might recover some of their morale, and we might be able to get them moving to the left-hand side of the map. Once we can get into that vicinity and we can take that objective, I'm fairly confident the rest of the troops will withdraw. But that is still a bit of a gamble. We've taken the key objectives though, east wall. West wall, we've taken one end of it, the top end of it, whilst our adversary still has another element there. They're not really capable of giving much effective fire there. So for all intents and purposes, we've taken the the first line of resistance. We've taken the main line of resistance and we're now mopping up. But the question is, whose will break first? Ours, through heavy casualties and lack of ammunition, or the enemy's from having their main defensive line neutralised, and they must be running out of ammunition as well. Okay, we've got some soldiers now starting to very tentatively make their way towards that position. And it looks like we've got the mortars and we've got 2 units of reserve troops still on the battlefield. The mortars have gone very quiet, and so they've most likely run out of ammunition. And we're only getting individual rifle shots from the reserve troops. Okay, the mortars are responding with small arms fire.
Take cover!
And we've lost another individual and indeed the entire team.
Heading for safety!
Okay, and you can see the morale effect now as some of the troops are cracking and withdrawing. Okay, the railway bridge has been destroyed. We're still trying to move some of these units that are withdrawing, trying to get them moving in the correct direction. And we're really reliant on weight of numbers here to overwhelm the mortar position. Okay, we're getting some of our troops moving into position, getting close, sneaking along that tree line there,
Pick up your
and
weapon.
any moment they'll have contact with the mortar. And if we get sufficient weight of numbers, the mortar team may well withdraw rather than putting up a fight, but we'll have to wait and see. So we just need to pour troops into that little area and overwhelm the adversary. There we go, and contact with the mortar team. It's mortar team versus mortar team at this point, which is very wasteful of an indirect fire asset, but there we have it. Grenades going out. There we go, starting to inflict some casualties. We really need the other troops to run in there and develop that weight of numbers.
We're under heavy fire.
We've got 2 people suppressed on the mortar position. We've got at least 3, if not 4, of our mortar people still active. We just need a few extra people in there, and we're going to prevail and take that area. So at this point in the battle, the plan has essentially worked,
Team clear.
although with very heavy casualties, not unexpectedly, given it was a terrible position from which to attack. But I'm fairly confident that we're going to prevail fairly soon. Okay, we have a bit more action happening, and we may be able to get a resolution with the enemy Granatwerfer or mortar team. Okay, it's a hand-to-hand combat. And there we go. The battle ended because the Germans were routed from the map. The bridge was blown, unfortunately. We gained control of the area and will advance. We've made 40 out of 110 Allied progress. Lost 22 KIA for 15 enemy casualties. So, a pretty heavy casualty mission. But in the end, we prevailed. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate. And stay tuned for the next episode.